Hello, thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Orla, Carty, and I'm on the agency team here at our office in Dubai. I'm very glad to welcome you to our event here with the Reprise team, where we're talking about a very hot topic in MENA and globally at the moment, which is GA4. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to the Managing Director of our certified partner, Reprise, which is Stuart Mackay.
Thanks very much for the introduction, Orla. It's great to be here today with you guys in Dubai. Just to give a bit of an intro into Reprise for people who might not know what we do. So we've spent the last 3 years building specialisms in data, technology and experience, with a particular focus on sort of data analysis. So effectively helping brands really understand sort of traffic engagement that goes across their websites and applications. And I think with this announcement of the sunsetting of Universal Analytics and GA4 sort of coming into the frame and people needing to have migrated by July, it's a great time to talk about this fantastic topic. I think from our side and from a Reprise perspective, GA4 is an entirely new platform. It has a really sort of great emphasis on data privacy, cookieless browsing, machine learning, all really relevant topics for things that are going on in the market. So I think if brands aren't starting to consider that move from Universal Analytics to GA4, they should be looking to do that as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Stuart. And without further ado, I'll introduce my colleague, Andy. Andy is our GA expert in the Dubai office. So I'd love you to talk us through what do these changes mean? What does it mean for business? What does it mean for our clients? And what is it that we need to watch out for?
Perfect, definitely. Thanks so much, Orla. So look, I think before we go into the details of GA4 and what the tool is, I think it's just important to take a minute to think about the historical context and why we're changing to a new platform. Google Analytics, or Universal Analytics, which is the previous version of Google Analytics, has been kind of built out back in 2007. So that was many years ago. The reality of internet has changed. The rise of importance of smartphones, all of the privacy regulations and changes that are kind of happening in the industry right now, basically meant that a new tool was required to help advertisers deal with the regulations and all of the business kind of challenges that come with those. And this is exactly what GA4 is. So GA4 is basically a brand new tool. It's being built from the ground up, and it's got a lot of features and a lot of capabilities that was just not possible due to technical limitations back in Universal Analytics. I think some of the kind of key things to think about from a GA4 perspective. Number one is that from a use case perspective, so anything that was possible from a kind of business challenge or business use case perspective in Universal Analytics is possible in GA4 as well. The specific technical details of how it might be implemented or where you would find a specific metric or dimension in the reports might be slightly different because we're dealing with a new tool. However, the general use case should be possible. Two, the fact that we've got a brand new platform that is kind of a lot more modern and a lot more suited to today's digital environment allows a lot of net new use cases. So like Stuart mentioned there, things like better integration with ML models or just kind of better privacy controls. All of that is kind of built in directly to the platform from the ground up. And then finally, I think that focus on privacy is also super key. So because the tool is being developed while these privacy regulations and changes are happening in the industry, the product teams are able to kind of adapt to that, and they're able to kind of integrate controls into the product that will allow advertisers to comply with all of the regulations that are basically just happening around the world, and also help deal with the technical limitations that come from things like cookie deprecation through cookieless measurement and features such as that. Now, obviously, to start taking advantage of all of these features, the first step is actually implementing and configuring the tool, right? So this is, I think, the part that a lot of advertisers are kind of struggling with a little bit, and they're finding a very daunting task. But this is exactly why we've got certified partners such as Reprise to help our clients through that migration process.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Andy. And so, Alan, can you talk us through what does that implementation look like? What role do Reprise play here?
So over the last 2 years, we've completed many GA4 migrations for businesses. To give an idea about the process, what we first do is we sit with the relevant stakeholders to understand the different needs that they have. And together we build that measurement plan that's best going to support the business. It's also a good time for everyone to understand the full value of web and app analytics with GA4 and to ensure that we're all fully aligned on the next steps. In the implementation phase or the delivery phase, we configure GA4 so that it to the agreed measurement plan. And during this time, we also sometimes have our clients that shadow us because it's a good opportunity for them to learn and see what we're doing while we complete the work. In terms of integrations, this is a very important part of the process. We make sure we've completed all integrations within GMP. So while GA4 is a very powerful tool in terms of insights for traffic acquisition, user behavior, and conversions, the greater value comes from those integrations because you're able to leverage that first-party data across GMP. So for example, if you want to retarget customers to come back and continue their journey on site or on app. And then finally, we complete the validation as well as configure all the reports, and we prepare the onboarding for clients and training. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, Alan. So Karthik, once the implementation phase is complete, what happens after that? Or what are the extra value adds that you guys as a Reprise team can bring to the table?
Thanks, Orla. It's a good question. To make the most out of GA4 migration, we would recommend having an online trainings and certification course that is offered by Google Skillshop. And because it provides a lot of great context as well as deep dive a practical example that you can go through. Beyond the migration, GA4 migration service, what we offer is we provide a training to the client how to use the tool efficiently, as well as we also have our own managed services. How client can benefit from the managed services is basically to understand how the customer behaves on the website and on the digital presence. And they get trained on how to use the GA4 attribution as well as advanced use cases that we can help them with. By gaining more insights from the GA4, they can also have a user experiment that they conduct through their data source.
Okay. Yeah. That's very interesting. Thank you very much, Alan. Thank you, Karthik. And thank you, Andy, for all of the insights today. I'd like to pass over to Managing Director again, Stuart, to wrap us up and give us his final thoughts.
So if I was to summarise some of the key points from this morning's discussion, I think there's probably around 4 that I'd focus on. One is the first one is the effects of data privacy on advertising is real. I think we see that impacting brands on real time today, and brands really need to take that seriously. The second is to invest in your first party data strategy, which Alan sort of alluded to earlier on. I think brands that are able to leverage their first party data are the ones who are delivering much more personalized experiences for their consumers, which is super important today. The third is around sort of data-driven marketing does lead to proven results. We see that in some of the case studies that Reprise have delivered, but also ones that we've done with Google in the past. And I think the last one is really just ensuring that brands are leveraging their tech assets to its fullest potential. And again, that's where Reprise can help. I think just to wrap that all up, that can all be done through GA4, which is amazing. So brands who haven't considered it yet, I think that move from UA to GA4 should absolutely be fundamental in their decision making over the next couple of months. So I'd like to thank Google for having us here this morning. It's been an amazing experience. We look forward to continuing our partnership and doing some fantastic work with you guys in the future.